Whether you're about to start building a website with Squarespace, already have one up and running, but aren't sure if it's done right, this video is for you. I'll walk you through the most common mistake business owners make when designing their website. So keep watching and test yourself. If you're new to this channel, hi, welcome. My name is Ksenia and I'm a brand and website designer, and I share Squarespace website design, marketing tips, and tutorial for busy creators and entrepreneurs. So make sure to subscribe. One of the most common mistakes I see on so many websites is having a huge logo. I replicated and mimic some of the websites I have seen in the past. You land on a website and you have an enormous size of the logo that covers half of the page, and even when you scroll the page, it still covers half of the page. So I cannot really see the content. And as a user, I don't really care about your logo. Yes, the logo is important, but it doesn't have to be that big. It should not come to the expense of user experience. A logo can still be effective and conveying your brand identity without dominating the entire website. Let's fix it together. The logo I took was from Canva. First of all, we don't need this background. We want to make it smaller. And instead of layering on the top of each other, we can actually adjust it to be to the side. Like this icon doesn't have to be on the top. It could be in the same line as a text, like that. And we can keep the yoga instructor if you want. We want to enlarge this. When you download a logo for your website, you want to make sure that you have as little space around the logo as possible. And now I'm going to resize it because it's more vertical position. I want it to have 1000 by 400. Okay. And now I'm going to enlarge it again. Okay, now download. And a lot of times I also see people would, let me show you. So if I navigate over here and change this logo to the one I have just uploaded, we want to make it smaller. But this is another very common mistake that I see, that people do not download their logo to be featured in the website with a transparent background. So they have this like white outline around their logo. And all you have to do is by clicking, if you're making the logo in Canva, this is how you would do it, or you can look it up how to remove the background from your logo if you have created your logo in a different platform. I also have a video how to create a logo if you want to view that video. Download and make sure you select a transparent background. And now we're going to download. Let's try one more time. Logo height, it's still a little too large. We don't need such a large logo. This is perfect. We still have our logo on the top. It's very clear what you do if you want to keep like yoga instructor or whatever the other business you're in, but it doesn't take half of the page. All right, mistake number one fixed, and it only took us a few minutes. And as I proceed down the website, I see a second very common mistake on a lot of small business websites is this headline: "Welcome to our website." The websites have been around for over 30 years, and we don't need to welcome visitors to our websites. By removing the outdated welcome message on your website, you can make better use of this valuable space to effectively engage visitors and guide them towards becoming your customers. Rather than wasting the prime real estate with a generic greeting that adds no value, take this opportunity to capture your audience with a content that resonates with their needs and desires. Here's the rules of a good headline. It should have a clarity. It should be very clear for visitors what they can find here and understand from one glance what are you selling and to whom. It should have relevance, relevant to your target audience needs, interests, and desires, and address pain points that resonate with them. It should have your value and proposition. What is your solution to their problems? Add an action-oriented language to prompt the visitors to take a desired next step, like book a call, book an online class, etc. And it also should be SEO friendly. So make sure to incorporate one of your main keywords in your first headline. So let's replace this headline with a better one. Here we clearly state what they can find and where. Transform your mind, body, and soul with personalized yoga sessions in downtown Boston. Then we want to give them an incentive to contact us. Position it to the middle, like that. And we want to add a button with a direct booking link. It's still very hard to read. Instead of this image that is irrelevant to a yoga studio. We want to replace it with something better. I found this image over here, and now I'm just going to change the color like this and click save. This is immediately elevated our website in the most important section. We clearly state where to find us and what can you find here. We give them a reason to book with us by offering a special discount and immediately directing them to a booking link. The third very common mistake I see on a lot of websites is contrast. The color of the font paired with a very light background is very difficult and inaccessible for majority of people to read, especially a small one. You really have to make an effort to be able to read this. We could change the color. I'm going to link below accessibility check color contrast website where you can input your background color and the color of your text to check if it's good. I'm going to click here on a site style, and under the colors, click edit palette. And here we want to copy this color and insert it here. And let's copy our background color, which is this one. As I predicted, it's very bad contrast. We can try adjusting, like if the color is pink, we still can keep the pink one, but just trying to adjust it to make it here. Now it's already in a green. So we can copy this color, come back over here and change it and click save. Immediately, it's so much more easier to read what is written on our website, and it's just easier to consume information without putting too much pressure on your eyes. The next mistake I see all the time is people forgetting to upload a custom favicon or browser icon. The browser icon is this icon over here. When we have a lot of web pages open, it helps the user to navigate. Let's open like Grammarly. If I'm over here, I can easily navigate and know where I'm navigating. Either it is Canva or Grammarly or YouTube. It's very easy for me to identify. But majority of people forget to change, and by default, Squarespace has this black box as a favicon. Let's go back to our Canva account. It's very easy to create a favicon here. You never want to use your full logo. You want to be something very small. It could be 1 or 2 letters from your logo, or it could be an illustration. For example, if we used this illustration for our logo over here, this is going to be our favicon. I'm going to remove this name and just make this to be very large. Make sure you download it with a transparent background. Transparent, and download. Navigate to settings, and then to the right, you're going to see favicon. And here we can upload our icon and click save. You see here, it immediately changed. It's not some unknown black box that Squarespace provides us, but it's your logo, which is going to be easier to identify as a customer's scrolling through different web pages. Another common oversight that frequently occurs is neglecting to optimize your website for mobile viewing. It can lead to significant setback in user experience and accessibility. Recent stats show that almost 40% of traffic to our website come from mobile devices. Squarespace has 2 different views. On the upper right corner, you're going to see a desktop view and a mobile view. And you can customize the way your website looks on a mobile. This is the way it's going to look for us on a desktop. But if I switch for the mobile view, this just looks like a mess, right? We cannot read anything. You can actually click on this edit icon and rearrange elements in the way you want them to be on the mobile. Let's move this down, pull up the contact button higher, and we can also drag this height of the page to erase the height and click save. And now as we preview the mobile view, it's easier to read and we can actually read the information that is there. The next mistake I observe all the time is when the page is duplicated, the URL slug is not being edited. And we're left with pages URL that look like this. If I want to duplicate this page, I'm just going to click on the gear icon and click duplicate page and confirm. And let's say this is going to be my new homepage. If I click on this gear icon, it's going to open up more information about this page. So while I have changed the title of the page to home and navigation title to the home, the URL slug, which is just a URL destination that somebody has to type in the browser to be able to access this page, next to my domain name, it hasn't been changed. And a lot of times I would see when reviewing other people's websites, the URL slugs would be something like this. Let's say you're on a website and you want to go to homepage and you want to just type in the homepage. It's not going to go there because you have this very long, unreadable URL slugs. Not only does it result in a poor user experience, but it also impacts your SEO, search engine optimization, considering various factors, including the URL structure, which plays a critical role in helping Google understand the content and context of the page. Ideally, we want to insert a keyword in the URL, or at least we want to change it so it's not some random numbers, the set of random numbers and letters, but it could be, I came up with this title for this homepage, a yoga studio. Instead of just having a homepage, you can use yoga classes in Seattle, or wherever the location, or wherever the main keyword of your business in this URL slug. And this is also a very common problem when it comes to blog posts. Navigate to the blog and navigate to the content. Here you can select the 3 dots and click on the settings. And if I preview the blog post URL, this is what the URL looks like. A set of random numbers and letters. It's going to be almost impossible to find this blog. So you always want to change this to be whatever the keywords or wherever the title of the blog is. Never skip this step. The next common mistake ties into our URL discussion. People build their website, they publish the website, and they do not optimize for Google search engines, which is the largest search engine in the world. It helps clients and customers who are interested in your services to discover your website. I will link it below, a detailed checklist that you can also download and go through that checklist that helps you optimize your website for the search engine. But in short, each page on your website should be optimized for a particular keyword that is tied to your business. However, over any page, each page would have the option of SEO to the left. And here we want to type in the title of the page. You always want to make sure title here with, you want to type your main keyword for this particular page inside the title, and you also want to create an SEO description, also including few of the keywords that are used on your website. And click save. Let's go back to this page. Since we're doing like yoga classes in Seattle, let's do yoga, best yoga classes in Seattle. Join us today. The SEO title should have a keyword in it, but at the same time, when people are scrolling through different searches that's shown by Google, you want to make sure that you put something enticing that people want to click on. Maybe you offer a free class or something like that. And then you want to also write an SEO description. I just used ChatGPT to help me write that, and here's what it came up with. Discover inner peace and rejuvenate your body with your yoga in Seattle. So this looks good, and click save. So there is that affect your SEO. So if you want a detailed instruction on how to do that, make sure to grab that SEO checklist. I have been reviewing this photographer website recently and helping him organize his pages and just roll everything. And the first thing he mentioned when he reached out to me is the back end of my website is so unorganized. I don't know what to do. I cannot find anything. And so what's happened was, instead of using a portfolio page, so he has like over 30 different projects that he's featuring on his website. What he have done, he basically duplicated 20 or how many projects he had, like pages in his not linked section, and then linked them from his homepage. But the problem with this, that the more projects you get, the more complicated the back end of your website gets. In Squarespace, you have regular pages, which is the one he've been adding, or you have a collection pages. And the difference between a regular page and a collection page, that the collection page could hold more pages inside. For things like portfolio, stores, or blog, it makes sense if you use collection page instead of a regular page to keep it more organized. Instead of having 20 different pages linked in your navigation for different projects, you can use a portfolio page. Select this one, just select wherever. You can customize this later. And now, as I click on this portfolio page, I'm going to be able to add more pages inside the portfolio page. And then each of these pages can host different images from different projects on this page. And when somebody lands on a portfolio page, all of these pages are already grouped and linked together, so it's easy for you and you don't have to link them separately. I hope that makes sense. So instead of having this standalone pages, you want to use a portfolio page. Similarly, I have seen people, instead of having a shop page and then host the categories inside the shop, what they would do, they would create a shop page. Let's say this one. And this would be their category. And then they would create another shop. And they would create another shop and list it as a category. First of all, these two shops are not coordinated between each other because it's two standalone shops. So what you want to do instead is create categories inside here by clicking on this gear icon, go to categories and create a category. And category would be the name of the category that you're using. That way people can land on this one shop and they're going to be able to access all of the products. While as this lady I've been working with, she was using a new shop page every time she would create a new category. I hope this makes sense. The other pretty common mistake I observe often is using jargon words that are specific to your business and to your industry that not really as easy to understand to beginners who are trying to find a solution to their problem. If we're taking yoga as an example, I created this navigation, and I have seen a navigation like that when I was researching a yoga. I wanted to take a class, so I would land on this website, and what they would have all of this navigation using a jargon that I do not understand because I'm a complete beginner. Second of all, they're not organizing their content like yoga practice and mindfulness practice. This is something that should be probably grouped together as one of the services. Then mental clarity. I also do not know what that means. It probably also should be as one of the services. When you decide what to put in your main navigation on a website, always think about the person who is a complete beginner. Just assume that they never heard of yoga, they have never experienced yoga before, and try with your titles for the navigation, make it easy for them to navigate through your website without being confused. Try to organize content in the most logical way. And the last part, which is also very common, it's do not have your contact information. Recently, I have been researching for blog posts for my website. I had to reach out to a lot of different business owners to take their input. And I was shocked by how many do not have their contact information on their website. The rule of thumb, you always want to add, first of all, a contact form. The contact form could be added to a contact me page. You always want to have a dedicated contact me page where you want to outline in great details how you can be contacted. Email, phone, address, if it's a physical location, what are the hours that they can contact you if they want to come in person. This is all very important, as well as obviously linking to all of your social media pages. And on the top of having a contact page, you also want to include your information in the footer, and you want to make sure to add your email address in the footer. So it's very easy for them. It's like a no-brainer if they want to contact you. You would be surprised at how many people operate when they're searching for something online. You would think that when they land on your website, they would preview your homepage, then your about page, then they would preview your services, and after that they would go and contact you. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen like that. People preview website chaotically and not always in a logical order. And sometimes they just want to reach out and ask you a question before booking anything. It's unavoidable that people would want to reach out and ask you questions. So I hope this video was helpful to you and you learned something useful that you can implement on your website.